Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series Mission 2020 we are taking here. 18th of July it is, and important questions, the numbers are varying because sometimes it needs a lot of explanation and some issues are extremely important and some confusions remain there. So that's why it's very needful to clarify all of them. So sometimes the question numbers are around 5, 6, 7 or most of the times it is around 10. Pocket News app is trending on number 1, so you can download that. All these courses, description is given below the video, and all these courses are available. You can call on these numbers and you can visit the website also. PDF you will get here. Send me a request on this group, and you can follow me on Instagram too. This is the Telegram channel's link where all these PDFs are there. Vote of trust. The issue is going on in Karnataka, and the Chief Minister says that we have the confidence, we have members on our side, we will bring this vote of trust and we will win that. So that means it is not brought up by opposition parties, it is brought up by the government only, and they will say that we have confidence, so the votings would be there. So no confidence motion is brought up by opposition parties to prove that government has no confidence, and vote of trust is brought up by government only and ruling party only, and they say that we have the confidence. So it's a positive thing in a meaning sense, and it's a negative thing. So this way UPSC asks these questions. So first is wrong. Second, it is decided by the voting on the basis of total strength of the house. This is a wrong statement. Why? Because it is based on a voting, and voting would be done on the basis of present and voting system, means how many are present, and that is the actually apple of discord. And here the issue was that some MLAs, they resigned, and that resignation was not accepted at first by the speaker. Now if they will remain absent on that day, that means lower number of members would be there with the ruling party, and the opposition members for sure they will be present in their full strength. So that's the case, because the case will be decided on the present and voting system. So as many they are present as the party would be winning. So that is why it's a problem, and that's why they are trying to hide these MLAs. And when it's actually very unfortunate, and this is not the scene that we want to see in the democracy, but it always happens because these politicians, they are only working for their own existence and hardly they care about the country of this country and the countrymen, because these ways they prove that they are all there for the rulings and enjoying the powers and nothing else. Because the kind of games we see here, this is totally unfortunate. First of all, this thing is going on for years now, and in the recent times we have seen this thing with much more vigor, that the party who is having majority, they try to influence other members and they want people to be on their side, and the party which is there in the center, that wants, in other states where the same party is not ruling, they want that our party should rule there, and the existing government that should go. It is the system we have been observing for decades now, but now this thing has become very much intense. So it's a very problematic thing, and here all these issues will be important, like the anti-defection law. When people change parties, anti-defection law came in 85 year, and it was the constitutional amendment. 10th schedule was added there. But there is again an important debate that whether it is important or not, because maybe parties say that vote in this side, but maybe they all are trying to save their own position, and maybe that issue is not morally right, and the person, the member of that party, he wants to vote to other side because he thinks that it is more logical. But it cannot happen because it would be against the party line, and this thing is ensured by whip. So whip's duty is to keep party in discipline. They should be present. Their particular presence is also ensured by the whip, and their discipline is also ensured by the whip, but their voting patterns are also ensured by the whip. So this is also controversial. So the position of whip and the anti-defection law, they both have important mains question with them. Means these things may be asked that are these necessary, and is it necessary in the democratic system that people should vote according to the party system? Is the party system above the individual logic and the representation of the MLAs and MPs? Is this justified? Or people who are representing their constituencies, Is it more logical that they have their own conscience and they have their own logic and they are not deciding things about according to their parties? But you see, parties are also cheaters, and these members are also cheaters most of the times, and that's why it's a nexus of these people. Both are very much opportunistic. I'm talking very negative, but these are realities, harsh realities. So that's the case. So they may be asked, D none is the answer. Both are wrong here. Okay. Next, recognize a country. A country which is a charter member of UN, NATO, IMF and World Bank. You see, NATO is an important hint here. Founding member of OECD, OSCE, BSEC and the Organization of Islamic Countries, means Islamic country, and G20. You see, only two important countries are there in the Islamic world which are members of G20. One is Saudi Arabia, second is Turkey. So the clear answer is Turkey here, because Turkey is a NATO ally and the issue is going on of S-400 deal. And what is the biggest clue here? That is the Kurds. Kurds are not present in Saudi Arabia. They are present in Turkey as the biggest minority. So that's the case. And they are problematic for Turkish government. Turkish government say that Kurds are terrorists. And the Kurds were very much important in wiping out the ISIS. Actually, it is not wiped out, but it was suppressed to its core, and Kurds were very much crucial. America supported Kurds forces, and they gave them trainings, they gave them weapons, and they fought with ISIS terrorists, and they removed them from these areas. So they were crucial. But this thing was objectionable to Turkey. They say that we can manage things here, and why America is interfering in our regional issues. So a lot of discords are there between Turkish government and the Trump administration. So a lot of things are going on. S-400 deal, which is signed between Turkey and Russia, because S-400 is the Russian system, very advanced system, and they delivered these to Turkey. So that was very much offensive for America, because Turkey is a NATO ally, and that's why America says that F-35 systems, the fighter jets, we will not deal now with Turkey, we will not sell it to Turkey. So Turkey is raising issues here that it was declared, but it is opposing America in this sense, it is provoking America in this sense. So that's why it's the issue. F-35 system is by Lockheed Martin of American company. S-400 missile defense system is by Russia. So this is the Turkey country here. You can see the map here. It is Anatolia Plateau actually, geographically, and these are the geographical details you must read there. Okay, so that's the case. And Kurds, these are the territories. Turkey, the southeast part here where these are present. They are also present in northwest Iran, northern Iraq and northeast Syria. So that's the case. Next, Ebola kills humans and fruit bats only. You see, Ebola, it's a virus, and Ebola hemorrhagic disease, we call it EVD, we can call it hemorrhagic viral disease, viral hemorrhagic disease. So it's virus, and fruit bats are the carriers, means it is not making fruit bats sick. Fruit bats, they remain healthy, but the virus that makes progress there, it reproduces other viruses there, and it increases in number. So fruit bats are the carriers. They are not the victims there actually. Humans are victims. Humans are killed by this virus, and the hemorrhagic fever is there with humans and other primates also. So you cannot say that it kills humans and fruit bats only. It kills primates also. So first is wrong. Second, recently again outbreak was there in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, and look at the location there. It was in many other countries, and in Sierra Leone, in other countries, we saw in 2013 that it was a major killer. So it was first recognized in 1976, and since that time till 2018, many outbreaks have been there, and thousands of people, they were killed. Now in an important city of Congo, it is again spread, and many people are the victims there, because the fatality rate is too high. 25% to 90% is the fatality rate. So people are getting killed, and this is because of the virus. So it's a global health emergency that is declared by WHO. This is correct. Third one, it's spread to humans with uncooked bushmeats only. No, you cannot say that, because there is no guarantee. There are many supportive evidences. They say that it is spread to humans by these bush meats which are eaten by humans there, and these are the meats of these food bats or maybe other animal. So maybe because of that it is spreading to humans, but we are not sure, and we are not sure about any of the ways that how it reached to humans. But it's an epidemic in humans because human to human transmission is very much possible, and it's a very fast way, and that's why it takes a it takes a image of epidemic there. So it is spread to humans with many ways, and not just the uncooked bush meats eating. So this is wrong to say. Only 2 is the answer. B is the answer here. You can see fatality in 90% cases, and this vaccine is being tested. Some success rate is there, but we are not sure that it is a perfect vaccine for it. And many species are there, and it's a deadly virus. In Congo, it's an international health emergency now, and more than 1600 people are killed. So that's a major problem. And since the 70s, it has killed thousands of people, around 25,000 people they are killed till now. So it is the cycle, episodic cycle we call it, because it is spread between different species, and it is spread to humans, and then human to humans transmission is possible. Like bodily fluids, if we are in the contact of bodily fluids like semen, blood or something like that, then it can spread. And there are different species like Ebola virus, which was called formerly a Zaire virus, because Zaire is the country where it was located, and Sudan virus, typhus virus, Budibuge virus. These 4 can affect humans. Restaurant virus, it cannot affect humans, so it's a non-human type of Ebola virus. So there are various types of Ebola viruses, and you can see primates means these monkeys, apes, and these are under the primates category. So they are also affected, and they are majorly killed. Next, planet plus moons, and that makes a word planet. So these are moons of exoplanets which are outside the solar system, and sometimes they are leaving their orbits, and they are roaming in the space. And our moon, there are evidences that our moon also can be an exoplanet, because it is drifting away from Earth. Per year 4 centimeter it is drifting away from the Earth. So C is the answer here. And that means that till next 5 billion years, around 5 billion years, it will stay with the Earth and its orbit, and later it may drift away. But it's the issue. You see, moons, they can be declared as planets also, because moons are of different sizes, like Ganymede and Titan. They are bigger than Mercury planet, but these are moons. So different definitions are there, but there are various parameters on the basis of that we declare them planets or the moons, and they are orbiting their respective planets, and planets are orbiting respective stars. So that's the system. So these details are extremely important. Many times UPSC is asking about these things. Okay. So these planets, they are breaking away from their own orbits, went rogue and act like planet also sometimes. So these are planets. Next, a very important question, Bimal-Jalan committee. This is for what? In budget discussion also, it was a prime discussion, because we were discussing the ways from where the money can be received by the government for its expenditures. So some ways, like foreign investment is a major way. Sovereign bonds, they have given as an option, and other options like government bonds are there. And disinvestment is a major target of PSUs from where they can get the money, and RBI reserves are a great option there. But you see, government wants a lot of RBI reserves, because in the RBI Act it is given that the extra profit must be given to government, but it is not deciding about the share of it, how much share. So Bimal-Jalan committee is deciding about that issue. Government expects that majority should be given to us, but it is not possible practically, because it is possible actually, but it is not wise a decision. So Bimal-Jalan committee is deciding about that. And Bimal-Jalan was a former governor of RBI, as we all know. So it's an important committee, and it is deciding about that RBI reserve sharing issue. A very, very important issue. For sure, this may be asked. It has recommended many things like periodical review of RBI capital framework, and RBI reserves to government in tranches over 3 to 5 years. Means they say that in one stroke they should not give all money to the government. It is not a wise decision. Maybe in 3-5 years in different tranches they can transfer this money. But the section 47 of the RBI Act that says that profits of the RBI are to be transferred to the government. So that's the case. And former committees were also there regarding the same issue. So we Subramaniam, Usha Thorat and Maligam committee. And right now we are following the Subramanian committee recommendations. So the system is going on the basis of that. So that's the case. Next, commercial paper. Commercial papers are the tool to short-term money raising, and it is not by RBI to companies. It is actually by companies, and companies issue commercial papers, and for a short period, means less than 1 year. They want to raise money for short term, and they issue these commercial papers. Like they will give you the paper and you will give some money, and on that paper they will give you the interest rate, and interest would be paid. So commercial papers are by companies. So this is correct, this is wrong. Only 2 is the correct option here. This is all given. It is an unsecured money market instrument. Why? Because it is based on the company's performance. Company may fail. So that's why the recent issue came when NBFCs are very much stressed, and some mutual fund companies, they put their stakes on these commercial papers of NBFCs. Now NBFCs could not perform well because they had a liquidity crunch, and that's why their commercial papers could not pay the required interest rate there. So many mutual fund companies, now their exposure to the NBFCs, that has declined with some numbers, and around 14.8% is the present exposure of these mutual fund companies to NBFCs. NBFCs are issuing these commercial papers also because NBFCs are the companies registered under Companies Act of 1956. So these commercial papers, they are actually announced by these companies, not the RBI. Corporate debt, it's a different tool, but it is for the long term. Okay, and it is also called bond market, and corporate debt is for the long term, and commercial papers, these are for the short term borrowing. That is the case, and these both are less safe than government bonds. Why? Because government bond has the security of the government's stakes, and companies may fail. So that's why it's not a very secured method, and less secure always than government bonds. Next, Article 157 and 158. This is a correct statement. They specify the eligibility conditions for the post of governor. You see, post of governor is the most misused post in our democratic system because they do not have any secure tenure. They can be appointed anytime. And how they are appointed? President appoints them. So this is wrong. President appoints them, but how? On the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Means if you talk in real terms today, whatever Prime Minister would say to the President, that person would be appointed as President. So under Article 157, Ramnath Kovind appoints 2 governors now, and in a real sense, governor has more discretionary powers. If we talk about this particular statement, that it's a correct statement because there are more discretionary powers with governor. Because President of India is in the union and it is in the state, and in states for the central control, governors are appointed, and it's a British system that we are following till now. Although it's very misused provision because governors are a kind of a practical appointee of the central government, and due to the control central government wants on states, they use governors in that sense because governors have many discretionary powers, and these all are given in the governor chapter of the Lakshmikant book, and the PDF also I have mentioned that. So that's why governors posts are misused, and they can be removed anytime. When the governments are changed in the central government, then many times they remove those people who were appointed by the previous governments, and this is the biggest misuse. And regarding forming the government in the state, when clear majorities are not there, then governors has discretionary powers. They can invite any person, any party. So at that time, central government influence a lot, and they want to remove those governments which are of different parties, and this is a very unfortunate system. So that's the case. So this is all, and 1 and 2 is the correct option here, and 3rd is wrong because it is appointed by President of India. That's the case.